Episode number 49 of the Love and Light podcast, powered by 103.9 WDKX. And today we're going to talk about the fear factor. Beware of scams. It is Halloween, right? So
Yes,
everybody in costumes. AI is alive and well these days, and we're seeing a lot of it. But we also know that our seniors are really getting affected by scams. And so we're going to dig deep into that in a moment. But today, of course, I'm here with my co-host and my brother.
Happy Halloween.
Willie J. Lightfoot. And we talked about last time the new American dream, what success looks like in 2025 and who gets to define it. And before we go into today's topic, we want to, of course, have our love lifting segment.
Yes.
And who we lifting up today?
So we want to honor all of those helpers, as everyone know, and I'm sure by the time that this broadcast is, hopefully, the government shutdown will be over. However, at this time, we are in, I don't know how many, almost 30 days of a government shutdown. So we want to lift up all of those and honor those helpers, those people who are out there stepping up during this government shutdown for food pantries, volunteers, faith leaders, non-for-profit workers, neighbors, helping neighbors, right? So we're talking about the fear factor in time where fear is real. It's very real now about how food is being used as a weapon, weaponized against the American people. But the love is much louder than the fear because we're seeing people stepping up to the plate. I saw a story here locally in Rochester where a man gave $10,000 and he was giving away $150 Wegmans gift cards. He put out a thing to be able to do applications. He received over 30,000 applications in less than 24 hours. So much so where he opened and started a GoFundMe for this particular cause. And he had over $100,000 was donated to. Now, of course, it's still not enough to cover the 30,000 applications. However, still people are compassionate. I believe Food Link here locally has been donated. Over $1 million has been donated to them to purchase food. They normally don't, they're giving food, but now they have to purchase food to fill in the gaps for the food cupboards and all of the agencies that they provide.
Right. And Thanksgiving is coming up. And you know, who also needs to get a shout out is Van from People's Choice Restaurant.
Absolutely.
Van for many, many years. You know, whenever there's a crisis, whenever people are hurting, she is also not charging people that are TSA workers. You know, who are not getting paid because of the government shutdown, eat for free there. She still has to pay what you can afford. But then recently, you know, Jamaica was hit hard with a tornado, or I'm sorry, a hurricane. And she is providing resources and support, collecting donations to go to Jamaica. So we just have a very loving community here in Rochester, New York, and we want to recognize all of those that are helping others when they don't necessarily have to. Thank you for stepping up.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, I just really want to talk about, you've been working with seniors a lot, besides the Rock Against Gun Violence, besides, you know, city council and being a pastor. One of your passions, and a barber and a business owner, one of your passions is working with senior citizens and have a great senior program, meals program, where you also give out food. What is it, 4 days a week?
Twice a week.
Twice a week?
Thursdays.
Okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, right there at the church, Powerhouse. Prayer House, not Powerhouse.
That's my
Prayer
guy
House.
over at Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Big
Hey, Bishop Melvin.
Yeah, Bishop.
Prayer House. But on Cumberland Street. But we want to talk today about scams and how seniors are really being affected by scams. What are you seeing?
So when we started, one of the things I saw when it comes to our seniors, and I was kind of led into this type of niche of working with the seniors because the church and many churches are very, people are very senior inside of these houses of worship. And so I wanted they're part of the community too. So oftentimes a lot of times when we're looking in these organizations, we're looking to help external people, but the internal people are also a part of the community as well. So I said, charity begins at home. Let's start working to help the people right amongst us. And those seniors oftentimes seem like they're forgotten, or they don't get the assistance and the help, or they're left behind by the next generations, whether it's generational X or Z, our baby boomers who are now 80, 90, some of them 100 years old. And so one of the things I saw is the digital divide was an area that was really real. The digital divide, not just having access to the internet, but also knowing just how to use your phone, knowing just how to use some of your tablet or your computer. Oftentimes, a lot of the seniors, they rely on their grandchildren or someone at home to try to help them do that. So we started a program called the Digital Divide, Digital Inclusion Program, to include and start helping seniors 60 and over learn how to use basic cell phones, tablets, and things of that nature. In doing that, one of the things that came very evident to us is this scamming that's happening in our community is very, very real. And by this being Halloween, we're realizing that these monsters that we're talking about today do not wear necessarily masks. They're hiding behind fake phone numbers. They're hiding behind cloned voices. Right. And so that's what kind of sparked me into,
and emails.
Emails. They're targeting seniors, more elaborate schemes that they're having for digitally, and more dangerous than ever. Seniors are losing billions annually to scams, and many never reported. Did you see the movie The Beekeeper?
Yes, I did.
All right.
I did. Yes. And
so that was about a situation.
Right. Yeah. Right? Claire Huxtable, or
she was Claire Huxtable.
She was Claire Huxtable.
But she was the target of that elaborate scheme. And this wasn't just some kid,
Felicia Rashad.
This wasn't some young kid that was just sitting in his home, in his basement, tracking
oh no,
people.
they have a whole network.
Full network. Designed specifically and trained on how to scam schemes. Now, this voice cloning thing is AI generated voices where they're mimicking grandchildren or your loved ones in distress. They'll call you and say, "Grandma, I'm in jail. Don't tell mom. Send money." Right? They got Medicare renewal scams where fake calls pretending to be verifying coverage, doing open enrollment. And I believe even now schemes will be about food, will be about how to get assistance during this government shutdown.
Right. If you give me $50, I'll make sure you get $100 back in coupons or something like that. They have where if they have lottery sort of you entered into the lottery, you paid the lottery, and therefore if you pay me X amount of dollars, I will send you the rest of the money. See, you just have to beware. There's so many schemes out there.
Man, we're just giving you a few to just kind of raise your awareness. Tech support pop-ups, fake viruses, alert urging seniors to call a number, give a remote access to their computer. Never want to do that. This utility and toll text one is real big. I've gotten that several times. Easy Pass, that click on this for your Easy Pass. You missed a payment, you owe a toll. Clickbait, links to steal your personal data. That's how they're getting into your phones and things.
Right, and your emails. And they're called phishing, right? And so they're sending you a link, acting like they're coming from, the IRS, a governmental website, acting like they're coming from your credit card, acting like they're coming from family members, right? Because somebody probably clicked on a link and said, looking for something. They got all of their email contacts, and then they're sending you an email acting like they're me, right? And you're opening up, grandma, mom, dad, I'm stuck somewhere. Don't call me. You can't reach me. These are all things that they're doing. And, you just have to be hyper vigilant, because in this time, especially when people are so emotional, it's about the holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, They are very vulnerable, meaning emotionally vulnerable, that they, looking for just something, some way to connect with people and things like that. These scammers, these professional, not non-professional, they're very professional network of people that have learned how to do this, learned how to steal money. I was just reading a story, I believe on Facebook somewhere, in a local woman. Basically, they took her entire savings, called and said that they were Social Security. They needed her information for her Social Security money to be put in the account, got all of her information and completely drained her account.
Episode 49, Love and Life podcast, Fear Factor on Halloween. We're talking about how to beware of the scams and how to avoid them. I would tell you, just piggybacking off of what you just said, when I started the digital program, we went on a local television station here at Channel 10 to Lynette Adams' show. Lynette Adams, a local reporter here in Rochester. She's, could be considered a senior. She's that age, right? No, she don't look it.
Right.
And she told me a story, and she actually did a story. You can YouTube it, Google it. You can see it on Channel 10, where she talked about this elaborate scheme with this AI stuff. When some of the things you don't want to do, when you don't, a number that you don't know, and they call and they're asking you, they want you to say the words yes. They want you to say your name. They want to get this information so they can record your voice. So what happened to her is she received a phone call from someone who said, I am a police officer. Your daughter was in a very serious accident. Really? She hit somebody and they were pregnant. And she, after she leaves the hospital, she's going to be arrested. But she's very hysterical. And but we're going to need, if you give us a certain amount of, money, we can try to help get her out of jail today. And so she's like, well, let me speak to my daughter. So they said, look, we're going to put her on the phone, but she's real hysterical. She's been through a lot. Wow, they put her on the phone. She said the person she thought she was talking to sound exactly like her daughter. Wow. She thought she was talking to her daughter. And she said what really triggered her, though, is at the point where they started asking for, information and money and things of that nature. And she was like, well, wait a minute, let me just check this out. So she took the time to pause and call the father, of her daughter. And she called him and she says, hey, where's so-and-so, the daughter's name? He was like, I just talked to her. She's fine. He's like, and she's like, oh, well, she told him what happened. And he goes, nah, that's a scam. She's fine, everything. And so here is a situation where she's a very educated woman. She, she's very knowledgeable, but she said she almost went for the bait. Because it was so real.
In a pull on your emotional heartstrings, right? Sure. They really get to the heart, like, oh, I have to help my child. I have to help my grandchild during this, I don't know where they're at. Sometimes they say they're in a foreign country and they need $50, $100.
Or from a gift card. So these are some of the things. And of course, the reason why they're targeting seniors, we know this, trust in authority figures. Seniors tend to trust that. And, they don't typically look for those signs. Like if you're getting an email from a government and it typically with these scams, the email will be off. Like it won't say
Check the email.
.gov. If you look at the email, you'll see that the email, no government is going to send you an email from Yahoo or from Outlook or
with a whole bunch of numbers
or with a whole bunch of numbers and things of that nature. So, but some of the seniors don't really look that closely to what they're receiving. Also, isolation makes them more vulnerable, right? Like you said, they play on those emotional and manipulate them through their emotions. And scammers often research the targets as well, using the social media, public records to sound convincing. So it's not about just being gullible. It's about just being human. We're all human. And we have, we can rely on our emotions, but we have to there should be no impulse thing that you do, like even impulse buying. Like I'm skeptical when I go into a store and somebody trying to make me buy something right then and there. You know what I mean? It's always
fill it out. Fill this application out.
That should be a big flag to anybody. When first of all, if it's not a number that you don't know, don't let it go to voicemail. Don't answer it. If it's really somebody important, then they'll leave a message.
And nowadays, I just had a client call me because they're getting all these calls saying that they filled out for a loan application. Oh, we have a loan. We've approved you for a loan for X amount of dollars. And like, well, I never applied for a loan. Does somebody have my information? And that's what they're looking for you to call back. Right. So for you to call back and be like, hi, I never applied for a loan. How do you have my information? And for you to start asking questions, and they'll be like, okay, well, what is your address? What is your phone number? What is your social security number? What is your date of birth? They're looking for you to call back and acting like they are checking to see when they're just gathering information for you. So we want our seniors we want all of our people to be very, very careful.
Alert.
Check, you get an email, check the email address, check before you click on any links. Make sure that you verify where that link is coming from. If you're not expecting an email from Capital One, if you're not expecting an email from the IRS, pick up the phone and call. You can pick up the phone and call those entities that are reaching out to you. If someone is calling you on a phone and asking you for certain information, you do not have to give it to them. What would you recommend that they do?
I would say, you have to be urgency, acting now when you can lose everything. So I would say, and I tell our seniors in our digital program when we talk about the scamming part, can anybody afford to lose everything you got? No. So that extra minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes to fact check whatever's going on is worth it if it's going to cost you everything that you have. So slow down, take your time, fact check. Secrecy. You don't tell nobody your business. You never should be giving your social security number, your driver license number, your account numbers to your banking account over the phone. Most banks don't even operate that way. They would not be asking for that type of information via text or via email. So, and you can always, when somebody says, oh, you got to do this and you got to do it now, and they won't allow you to hang up the phone and go and fact check what they're saying, that is an immediate red flag. When they're talking about pay them via a gift card, really? No, that's definitely a red flag. Or wire transfer, or when they're talking about crypto. Hang up the phone. When you get somebody to call you and say,
are you
so-and-so, go, well, who's asking? They want you to say your name. They want you to say yes. Don't say your name. Don't say yes, because they're recording your voice. That's what they're doing with AI. So hang up. You can block that number, but remember this, they're so elaborate with these schemes now that they have a way where they can dial back your number and change one number in their phone number and call you right back. So notice that the same numbers
they're not calling from 800 number. They're calling from numbers with real area codes. And they're calling and they can make it so they can call from a number in your area code. Right. And so hang up the phone is the first thing.
Yep. Never give out personal information over the phone or email. You can set a family safe word for emergencies with your family, or you can give your family members a certain ringtone so that you know that's your nephew, that's your niece, that's your son, your daughter that's calling. You can involve trusted family members in financial decisions. So before you make, especially for our seniors, before you make any financial decision, give a call to that trusted family member to discuss that with them before you go into any of those types of transactions. And then this other one is to report the scams to ic3.gov or call the 1-833-FRAUD-11 number. So those are numbers out there, ic3.gov or call 1-833-FRAUD-11. And you can report these particular things that you think that may be scams. And I would also say you can Google for things that come to you via text and via email. You can actually Google whatever they're saying, and oftentimes it will pop up and say that's a scam. Right. Beware of that. Whatever that particular thing is that they may be asking you.
And after the fact, you're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of heartache, a lot of resources trying to get your money back. you you can report it to the police department. They will do their research, but know that after a certain amount, if it's over a certain amount, then it's not insured by the FDIC, right? And so you have to really be very, very careful about making sure that you hang up the phone. If you feel like, okay, well, maybe this is legitimate. All right, what's the number? Let me give you a call back. Involve someone else that may be able to provide some additional information. Never give out your personal information over the phone or by text message. Check your emails. If they're coming through and it doesn't seem like a legitimate address, then don't send it. You can easily pick up the phone to call any governmental agency to find out if they are actually trying to get in touch with you, even RG&E or anywhere else. Understand that these people are really skilled and professional. They perfected how to take advantage of you. Is it wrong? Absolutely. But we want to give you some helpful tips in order to make sure that you're not only aware, but even if something happens and you need to report it, then you call ic3.gov or call 1-833-FRAUD-11. This is empowerment over empowerment over what?
Fear.
Over fear, right?
Yeah, empowerment over fear. Encouraging everybody and all our families and listeners to take that, to realize, to take that time to do that fact checking. We have this episode 49. We want to let you know episode 50. We have an exciting show coming for you at our great episode 50 that we're reaching. We're looking to bring a very special guest on. So be looking out for that as we come forward. And I just want to let you know, let your light shine. You can't put a lampshade on the sun. Just keep shining and be encouraged and stay vigilant and beware.
Dance like nobody's watching, sing like there's no one listening, and live like it's heaven on earth, and love like you've never been hurt. This is 11 Light Podcast, episode number 49, powered by 103.9 WDKX.